What's up, guys? Welcome into Bubba's Locker Room. Today we're going to be talking about the sports gambling epidemic that is facing our great nation. I want you to think about the last time that you watched a football game. You probably saw the score, the clock, and your favorite players performing at a high level. But you also probably saw the spread, player props, same game parlays, live odds, and betting ads that you just can't stay away from. And sports gambling has become almost impossible to separate from sports. But this isn't a new idea. Humans have been betting for thousands of years. So how do we get to where we are today? And why is betting now moving beyond sportsbooks and into the financial apps that we use every single day? Let's go back to the very beginning. Gambling goes back thousands of years. The ancient Greeks wagered on athletic competitions, while Romans bet on chariot races and gladiator contests. The idea was simple. You pick an outcome, you put money on it, and you hope you're right. Eventually, organized sports betting grew around horse racing, and bookmakers began setting odds and taking bets, creating the foundation for the modern sportsbook. In America, however, sports betting was mostly legal or heavily restricted. And then comes Las Vegas. For decades, Las Vegas was the center of legal sports betting in America, but betting was nothing like it is today. There were no apps, no live odds, no player props. If you wanted to make a bet, you had to visit a sportsbook or call a bookie. You had to know a guy who knew Tony Soprano.
How about that prick's face when he saw the gat?
And if you've ever seen The Sopranos, if you don't pay your bookie on time, your kneecaps are going to get busted in with a baseball bat. And then technology changes everything. Computers improved odds making, television brought sports into millions of homes, and the internet eventually made remote betting possible. But there was still one major roadblock. In 1992, Congress passed the PASPA law, effectively preventing most states from legalizing sports betting, and that law lasted for 26 years. But in 2018, the Supreme Court struck down the law after a legal challenge led by New Jersey. Suddenly, states could decide for themselves whether to legalize sports betting or not, and they moved fast. It was like a domino effect. New Jersey launched in 2018, followed by states all across the country, and sports betting went from being concentrated only in Nevada to becoming a national industry. And then, sportsbooks started putting everything on your phone, and that's when betting really took off. Today, you're not just betting on who's going to win, you can bet on almost everything. Who scores next? How many yards will a running back get? Will a quarterback throw a touchdown? Will a basketball player hit 3 3-pointers in a game? And you can make these bets while the game is happening. Then comes the parlay, where you combine multiple bets together for a much bigger potential payout. And according to the National Council on Problem Gambling, percentage of sports bettors making parlay bets increased from 17% in 2018 to around 30% in 2024. But sports betting isn't the only thing changing. Here comes the rise of prediction markets, which is a relatively new concept around gambling, because instead of betting through a traditional sportsbook, people can buy contracts based on real-world outcomes. For example, will inflation rise? Will a political candidate win an election? The contract's price moves based on what the market believes the probability of that outcome is, and these markets are increasingly appearing on platforms associated with investing and finance. So instead of opening a sportsbook, someone might encounter these contracts alongside stocks and ETFs. That's where things get kind of murky, because now the line between investing and gambling starts to, get confusing for people. You're still risking money on an uncertain outcome, and the difference is what you call the product. Instead of saying the word gambling, they're calling it predicting. And there's also a huge amount of money involved in this market, guys. In 2025, Americans legally wagered approximately $166.9 billion on sports. That's around $457 million every single day. And sportsbooks generated roughly $17 billion in revenue, and even states are starting to see the benefit of this. They collected around $3.7 billion in taxes. Yeah, taxes are involved in gambling. I don't know why, it really pisses me off, but they are. Sports leagues and teams have also embraced the industry. Betting companies literally sponsor teams. The odds appear during live broadcasts, and betting ads are everywhere. You cannot watch a sporting event today without being hit in the face with a gambling ad after gambling ad. I went to a Marlins game the other week, and on every seat in the stadium, there's a sticker that says Hard Rock Bet. It's crazy. Gambling isn't sitting on the sidelines anymore. It's a part of the sports business. In 2025, Pew Research Center survey found that 31% of Americans ages 18 to 29 had bet money on sports in the previous year. This is creating a lot of gamblers, a lot of bettors, especially young people who think that, you know, creating a 10-leg parlay is going to make them a millionaire overnight. And in some cases it does. It's like winning the lottery. The issue isn't that everyone who bets will develop a problem, okay? It's that gambling has never been easier. You can deposit money in seconds, bet during a game, you can lose that bet, and immediately place another bet during that same exact game. And now prediction markets are bringing similar concepts into platforms people traditionally use to manage and invest their money. So yeah, sports gambling has come a long way. It's evolved over time, and now prediction markets are being integrated into financial platforms. Technology has made betting faster, easier, and more accessible than ever. And that leaves us with a very big question. Are we watching and enjoying sports anymore for the love of the game and to support your favorite team and players? Or are we investing in sports now because we have money on the line? Are we watching the game because you put a $20 parlay to win $1 million? So yeah, it's very interesting to see where this is going to go and evolve from here. I would stay away from the prediction markets if I were you. You can literally gamble on everything and anything at any time, which is a pretty scary thing. It's in your phone 24/7, 365 days a year. And so that's going to wrap it up for today's video. I appreciate you guys listening and watching. Stay safe out there and gamble responsibly. Take it easy. Peace.